Hi, my name is Todd Romero, Senior Product Line Manager for Forney Industries. We're going to be talking about our face shields with a little bit of demonstration on some of the things I was talking about before. So first off, I'm going to take this face shield off of Jimmy. Notice that Jimmy here has glasses. So when I was talking about before on the inside, you'll see on the inside here how I can move that forward and back. That actually sometimes makes a difference with someone who wears glasses. But a lot of times, again, face shields, remember, are a secondary device, meaning that you should always wear safety glasses in the first place. So if you don't, for one reason or another, you can actually move that forward and back. That makes a big difference, especially if I want to wear goggles. Goggles, I want to be able to push it forward and back. So there's a key differentiator with that there. Second is the pin lock headgear. Here, as we were talking about before, this is very similar to a baseball cap. So I actually have to take it off and take it on in order to be able to kind of adjust it to my head. And then I also have the when we were talking about here, the swivel portion of it. As you can see, you can actually move this forward and back in order for it to sit properly on your head. That does swivel around though to be able to make it a more comfortable type of fit. With the flat visor here, you're going to see that it flares out a bit more inside there. While it still provides good protection, it does have the ability to flare out a little bit more. And then I am actually going to have him bend his head down a little bit. Here is where you can see on the pin lock headgear, it does provide adequate and good protection in terms of the brow guard, what we call the brow guard here. And so it's not as deep, and you're going to see that a little bit more when we get into the ratchet style headgear. So there's a ratchet style headgear again. I'm going to have Jimmy actually do this here. So Jimmy now has the opportunity to take the ratchet and quickly adjust it to where he needs it and where it feels good for him. Again, he is going to actually slide this down more, and depending on where he wants it, he might want to have that up here, more towards up here versus there. And it's all user defined and how you feel and fit that you feel the fit is in terms of your comfort level. So no main difference in terms of everything else is the same. The main difference again is you saw that ratchet where I can quickly ratchet it on and ratchet it off inside there. So I'll have Jimmy take that off again. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to show the headgear there. So if you noticed here, this actually came up much higher in his headgear. You can see it wraps around much more, and there's much more coverage. So there's increased coverage in terms of protection with your ratchet style headgear. So again, our pin lock has adequate and it has the right amount. We made sure of that. We just created an additional more protection from a headgear and a protection on the brow guard perspective of it. And so I'll let you go ahead and take that off. One thing I want him is, because I've demonstrated it before, is you'll notice, and again, as we talked before, as far as the swivel action, so he'll demonstrate real quick of how easy it is to be able to take those off rather than sliding them in and off and then putting them right back on. So it literally takes seconds to be able to do, versus before it was actually quite cumbersome to try to figure out how am I going to put this on and off, and you had to be a little bit of an expert at it. So literally took about 5 seconds to be able to do that. So that's another area of improvement we made. We're going to move on to our Command Pro 58609 and 58610, our new ratchet headgear assemblies. Again, these have the PC molded, injection molded type. So again, we're going to have Jimmy go ahead and put that on there. So he's going to bring it down here. Now, what you see here is before, if you went here, these flared out with the flat visor. These are injection molded and formed, so it actually conforms around to the head much better. That actually gives a better, as far as protection, in terms of having that flare out versus being molded almost to the face. And again, the headgear ultimately decides how close I want it to my face, how far I want it from my face. But ultimately, this is always molded, and it's always going to coverage around here. And a good thing to kind of think of is you look at your ear, and where your earlobe is right here is kind of exactly where I want it. Okay, so that is a good standard to be able to use as far as where I want my coverage, as far as how much I want it to wrap around. Again, we go back to the ratchet headgear, and it has the padding on the front. It also has padding up top, more padding than we have in our standard type headgears with our 58600 and 58605, 58604, and 58606 respectively, between the green and the clear. And again, this is covered, just as I discussed, in both a clean and a green and a clear. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please visit forneyind.com.